Welcome to the Sauce Pod.
Welcome back to the Sauce Pod. I am Taylor, your host of the Sauce Pod, I should say, along with Anna. Here as well, co-hosting alongside me, content creator and editor of the Sauce, writing always amazing stuff, dropping tons of gems in our newsletter every week, and also here on our Sauce Pod. So every Wednesday, we release a new episode wherever you stream your podcasts, or you can catch the podcast as a video on YouTube as well. So we've also got the Sauce Weekly newsletter that hits inboxes every Monday night. You can find me pretty regularly on Twitter Spaces. I've been making my rounds these days. But oftentimes on Twitter Spaces, we like to hang out. We dive deeper into these topics that matter to content creators, entrepreneurs, small businesses, really any creative type that's making a go of it online. So thank you for tuning in, and let's jump into it. We've got a packed edition this week. We're going to be talking about some Super Bowl takeaways. We've got the hottest, latest tea on Twitter. There's a lot of it, but we'll start it off with that so that we can get it out of the way. We've got some updates on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, a TikTok refresh. I'm totally here for this, by the way. Some AI news on Bard and Bing for a second. We're going to give ChatGPT a break. And then some cool creator spotlight. We had a session earlier today with the Sauce where we got to talk to some cool, fun, interesting creatives and explore their kind of unconventional journeys to where they are now building their creative entrepreneur business. So with all of that being said, let's get into it, Anna. Valentine's Day is in the air. And this time of year, it reminds me of football and commercialism, and like the two kind of combined. We talked a little bit about Valentine's Day last week, but on the topic of the big sport ball game that happened last Sunday, the Super Bowl, you highlighted a couple really good ad takeaways from that commercial event. So what were those, and can you share them a little bit with us?
I feel like I watched the Super Bowl just to watch the ads. So the first one I have in here is the ad with Ben Stiller and Pepsi. So if you haven't seen it, we have it linked in the newsletter. But this one was hilarious. I think they did a really good job capitalizing on the fact that the clip from Zoolander is like a new trend on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
We're going to say the blue steel. Yes, the... I can't do it. Yeah, there you go.
I can't do it either.
Yeah, not even gonna
If
try.
you're listening to this, just go watch the video on YouTube to try to like see our shitty attempts. Anyways, so we've got Ben Stiller and Pepsi.
And then the Tubi ad. Tubi is how you say it, right? Yes.
Tubi. That one had everyone
freaking out. Well, no, I was watching it with some friends and we're all like, who has the remote? What are they doing? Get off the remote. I think it was genius. They did a great job with that one. And then the last one I have is a throwback because I have to, because this is my favorite commercial of all time.
Yeah?
Commercial with Betty White. And we miss
okay,
her.
so this one is a throwback. It's not actually like some AI generated version of Betty White in a commercial.
Yeah, no, right? This one I don't know what year it's from. I should probably look that up. But yeah, no, it's an older one.
Okay.
But they did such a good job saying, it's kind of like the Snickers thing, you're not you when you're hungry. So yeah, definitely go check all those out in the intro in our newsletter.
I love that. I think that my favorite thing, like I'm always going to be the anti-capitalist in me is always going to be like, any consumerism, commercial driven, like shopping holiday or attention holiday, like the Super Bowl. I'm always kind of just like, what can I learn from this situation? Because everyone's already going to be talking about with everything that can possibly be said. I also don't care about sports. I'm not really in that space. So I watched it for the ads. And something interesting I found out of that too, which is somebody tweeted and I retweeted it today. I can't tell you what the ads were, but I can tell you all of the celebrities who appeared. And the takeaway with that is if you're going to put something out there, make sure that your brand has something tangible to latch itself onto, whether that's an influencer, a person, the message, because those are the things that people are going to walk away with and have a concrete memory of. So interesting nonetheless. There were a few good ones. I don't recall all of the details, but Anna, thank you for adding these into the top of our newsletter because it's a good like deep dive, if anything, just to study the creative of it, because that's what I love doing. All right, well, let's talk social. Let's talk Twitter specifically.
I put her first today.
Yeah, we put her first.
Normally
We said
save
that
her
we
for
were gonna
last.
get her. Yeah, I know. This time we were just like, let's bite the bullet and get into it early and save ourselves so that we can actually talk about other things that matter. Although I will say Twitter hasn't been as much of a thorn in my side recently, except for last week. So tell us what happened.
So Twitter had a whole, I guess, I don't know the exact hour number, but like 4 or 5 hour breakdown where Twitter was out. It was on Wednesday. And anytime a user would try to tweet, why was that hard to say? Try to tweet. They would get a notification or error message that said they had reached the daily limit. And I guess people found some workarounds. If you actually went to schedule the tweet, then you were able to publish it. But I mean, obviously that's annoying not to be able to just hit publish when you know you haven't tweeted all that day. If anyone is reaching the current daily limit of 2,400 tweets a day,
which today I learned, like, thank you for that TIL, because I had no idea that there was even like a limit, which now we know, even though Twitter was bugging out so hard last week because it wasn't just the tweeting, it was also the DMs. I had like multiple people sending me DMs after the fact, not during the fact, but there, and also hitting me up on Discord being like, by the way, Twitter DMs are down, like, let the world know. So I tweeted something out to let everyone know, like, they're not working for me, they're not working for most people. I can't send tweets because I've apparently reached the limit. I couldn't follow people either. I was just having like all kinds of like weird shit happening on Twitter last week.
Well, and that, I guess, supposedly came around because Twitter deployed their new 4,000 character limit tweet option earlier in the day. So it seems like the errors have been removed for now, but
for now, which, like, to your point, Anna, it's people who are subscribed to Twitter Blue now have the option to compose tweets up to 4,000 characters. I think it still only shows you like the first, 256 or whatever the number is that you're allowed to tweet. It only shows that, and like there's an option to expand it, but I'm no longer subscribed to Twitter Blue. Listen back a couple episodes for that whole saga. What I do know is that that the feature to like basically compose essays on Twitter, if that's something you ever wanted to do in your life, you can now do it with Twitter Blue. I don't know. I still have a lot of like, I'm very iffy. Yeah, I don't know if this is the move or not. So I'm going to keep definitely an eye on this and see how people use it over the next couple weeks / months. Because Elon said like a while back, like this is to keep people engaged so that you don't have to do threads. But for creators like us, like Twitter threads are kind of bread and butter when it comes to like visibility and reach and that increased engagement. But I digress. Speaking of reach, what did Elon do about his account?
So I guess while Twitter was having a breakdown, Elon was having a breakdown. So for a couple weeks now, he's been voicing his concern over his tweet reach and his Twitter audience. So he took his account private for a day to test if that would like solve anything. And then he like gathered some engineers in a room for a meeting, and he's like, what's the problem? Like, why am I not getting the same tweet reach that I used to? And I guess the team ended up showing him like, here's like data charts, here's like Google, even from Google Analytics and Twitter. And they're just like, maybe popularity is just decrease. Like people aren't Googling you as much anymore. They're maybe a little tired of like all your antics, maybe. And Elon didn't like that answer at all, and I guess fired the engineer on the spot.
Elon, never change. I have a couple things to add to this. One being, I know that like over the last few weeks, swaths of people on Twitter have been taking their accounts private. So I reached out to a few different people and I was like, what's the deal? Why is everyone going private? Like, what is the move? What does that indicate or suggest? And a couple of the people that I heard back from and including the person who tweeted Elon to let him know that this was an issue, was people were saying, well, there's massive issues right now with having a public account and getting like visibility, the reach is way down for some reason. But if you take your account private, for some reason showing up in more people's For You page, obviously people who follow you, right? So somebody tweeted this at Elon like last week, maybe early last week or the end of the week before, and said like, hey man, this is happening. I tested it on my own account. I went private and my reach and impressions are like way massively higher than they were when I was a public account. Like, so fix this. So I'm guessing that that's where Elon was like, all right, let me try it. Of course,
Probably.
the mixed reactions around like, why did Elon actually go private are varied and far strung, but he did go private for like, I don't even know what it was, like a day or two or something like that, just to like to test this theory. And I think that the theory held true and somebody got fired over it. So
Yeah.
all of which is to say that Twitter's reach and impressions have been kind of like a disaster lately. And I'm hoping that they fix that, because I'm even noticing the same thing with my own content that I'm putting out on Twitter. It's just not as strong as the reach that it was getting even just like several weeks back. So hopefully this gets like figured out soon. People are pretty pissed about it. People are
yeah.
kind of up in arms.
Well, now you have the public, what is it, impressions view, where everyone can see how many impressions that tweet got. And I'm sure
Exactly.
Elon wasn't very happy to see,
It
that
kind
number
of
a lot lower.
backfired.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I think it kind of backfired for a lot of people. And like the whole idea of putting impressions on tweets was so that Elon could be like, hey, look, there's actually like a secret underground massive population of users who go on Twitter. They're just not tweeting actively, but they're all seeing your content. We want to show you by putting the view count on them. And now people are like, but what? Like, I only got 29 on my tweet. So you're telling me that like people are really seeing my shit? Now it's like, okay, he talked the talk, and now Twitter has to figure out a way to reflect that into reality and pump up those metrics, because it's a struggle out there for us Twitter creators. Anyways, the next update on Twitter, I can cover this one quickly because I added it in here today. But TweetDeck, for anyone who uses TweetDeck, which is a Twitter management feed, essentially, it's a Twitter product. It's free to use. And basically, you can manage your different feeds. You can call out keywords. You can make kind of like different lists. You can schedule tweets through there. It's kind of like Twitter's version of like Creator Studio or something like that. It's been around for years and years, and I've been using it for a while on and off over the last few years. But turns out TweetDeck might become a paid feature of, you guessed it, Twitter Blue. So it might shake things up a little bit if you are not a Twitter Blue user, which, by the way, I think there's an estimated only like 300,000 of them I was reading earlier today, which isn't that much. But somebody spotted in Twitter's backend code, Twitter Takeover News spotted a line of code that basically shows that TweetDeck is going to become a Twitter Blue add-on. So, I mean, good for Twitter Blue for strengthening their offering and giving people who want to subscribe to that model more bang for their buck. But it kind of sucks because it's currently a free tool to use. And it kind of leaves those of us who rely on it or use it as a free tool to manage our feeds kind of just like left out in the cold. Like, thanks a lot for that one. My point being, be prepared to switch over to either the $7 a month if you do it through desktop, or $11 on iOS if you decide that you absolutely need TweetDeck and can't live without it. And yeah, so if that's the case, you'll need to subscribe to that Twitter Blue. So no update on when that might be released, but that is how they get you. They just snag you right in. Topic change. Let's talk about Instagram. I'm over Twitter.
Yeah.
Give us the latest, because there's a few updates there.
Yeah, so there's a color filter, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what that'll look like,
Okay.
but it'll be in your accessibility settings. But basically, you'll be able to maybe change the different colors that Instagram normally uses. So maybe, this feature is helpful for those who are colorblind and need this setting to maybe adjust their screens per their needs. But that one would be cool. Cool to see what they're going to do with that one. And then if you need to do some closer stalking on Instagram stories, Instagram's giving you the ability to zoom in by pinching on the screen on Instagram stories. I mean, my hack is to just screenshot the story and then zoom in, but you didn't hear that from me.
Now you can eliminate that sleuthing step and just go straight to the pinch zoom.
Exactly. You don't have to, go and delete the screenshot so nobody sees it later.
I know.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this basically works similar to how you would zoom in on a picture in feed. And
Mhm.
then this one's actually live. So Instagram announced that it's expanding access to a new monetization feature called GIFs. You're able to use stars, which I think stars has already been a thing in Instagram.
Mhm.
You can use stars to then gift a certain like level of gift to your favorite creator to show your monetary support. So sending stars was already live for Instagram lives and on-demand videos like reels, but I guess this addition of gifts kind of gives Instagram another factor or level that people are able to use to helping Instagram compete against, TikTok, where
Yeah.
that gifting is already readily available. So you
Yeah.
should be able to see if you're eligible to receive gifts if you're a creator from the professional dashboard and settings.
Okay. I like that they have
Relatively
those
simple.
eligibility options. We talked about last week how like this is like Reddit's model, and I would probably even like reason to say that they sort of not invented it, but like definitely brought it to the masses where people could buy like,
Mhm.
gifts or badges, gift people karma as it's called on Reddit. And recently, just like in the last couple of years, they've expanded that to be even more inclusive of like actual monetary gifts. It totally makes sense from a business perspective why Instagram would do it this way, because then you get the supporters of these creators pay, for the stars, I guess. That's Instagram's virtual currency. Like you can pay for that up front, and then
Mhm.
you can gift those to people during live streams. But you're saying that like you would be able to gift those to anyone at any time, rather than any creator obviously that has it enabled, rather than it just being
Right.
available in like a live stream.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Cool.
Instagram, I'm not sure what percentage, but they are taking a percentage of
Mhm.
whatever that value of the gift
Of
is. So,
course. Absolutely.
smart move. They're making money
Gotta
off of
take
it.
their cut. Instagram definitely has, like, a lot of steam under them, because with the way that, like, TikTok is going to monetize creators, Twitter said that it really wants to further monetize creators. I think that ads now on Twitter are going to start being monetized on, like, Threads, which is a good sign that finally Twitter creators can get it. But now Instagram is also beefing up its creator revenue share program, so
Mhm.
we love to see it. Let's talk YouTube. What do we got for
Yes.
YouTube Shorts?
This one's super simple, but I wanted to add it in here because we don't talk about YouTube that much, but they are always updating their shorts specifically in their
Mhm.
analytics right now. So this is a different view they've added to the shorts analytics on how viewers find you, whether it's direct or maybe unknown, or external or channel pages. And this just gives you a better insight into where exactly the people that find you are coming from, be able to understand that a little better. But YouTube, I love YouTube. They're always making updates. And I feel like they're not the drama child. They're just very chill. Everyone loves them and they stay out of the drama. I love it.
Unless you're a YouTube, like, influencer creator, like, if you're in
Well,
that,
yeah.
like, top 20, top 30, girl, let me tell you, I went all the way down the rabbit hole of, like, influencer snark. There is one for TikTok,
Uh-oh.
there's one for YouTube, there's one for Instagram, and, like, all these influencers have their own, like, respective platform that they call home, and so the YouTube ones, they can get pretty down and dirty, but it's low-key fun to spectate and watch on the sidelines. I didn't say that. This is good. I love that YouTube is doing its thing with shorts, always going to compete with TikTok. There are more and more ways to like cross repurpose your content between all of these like vertical video channels that exist, these different platforms. So YouTube, if you're already doing TikTok stuff, you're already doing real stuff, you should try it out on YouTube. We have a case study that I think we're going to need to talk about in a few weeks, about how even our own like sauce YouTube has reached, we're almost at 100 subscribers. So hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed. And we've pretty much amassed those subscribers since the beginning of January, all just posting like shorts. And so there really
Mhm.
is something to say about like YouTube shorts and how creators are growing through shorts and building a subscriber base before launching into some of their like longer form content, kind of like what we're doing now. Awesome to see that they're making it more accessible and easy to figure out how to monetize and grow your brand. So this snapshot of having like analytics just at a quick view, it's nice to see.
Mhm.
All right, well, talking about TikTok, Tell me about this reset. Tell me how I can do it
Yeah.
and why it exists.
It does not exist yet. They are working on it, but I think it is a good option to have out there. So TikTok is basically coming out with this new feature that'll let you completely reset your For You page.
I have been waiting for this.
When you make an account on TikTok, it doesn't, this For You page kind of just throws a bunch of different videos at you because it doesn't really know you yet. And then, over time, the algorithm will, kind of track what you're interested in, whether it's the amount of time you spend on it or how you interact with the video. And then it creates like this feed for you. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best personalized algorithms out there.
Absolutely.
But of course, your For You page could probably get stale, whether that's, you've changed interest or, you discovered a new tab on TikTok of like the book talk or whatever it is, and you want to see more videos like that, but you're not necessarily getting those.
Oh my God, yeah.
You will be able to now like just completely reset your For You page and start over. Yeah. Again, it's not live yet, but they are working on it.
I love the example that you included. Like if you watch like literally, this is my life. You watch like one fucking video that features like a frog or something, and then suddenly your whole For You page is just frog content.
Like,
and you're like, how did this happen? I don't want to be on Frog Talk. Get me out of here. And then it's like, it's the opposite. Cause then when it's like, I really want to be like, I wanted to be on like AI TikTok for a couple weeks ago. And even I still am. So like, I'm looking up all my like ChatGPT content and like Mid-Journey and stuff like that. And I wasn't getting any served up. I'm like, I'm liking it. I'm engaging with it. Give me the shit in my For You page. Anyways, but it's going to be nice to kind of be able to like reset that for me personally. Like, I'm sure that my algorithm is like just like a hot mess of jumbled like
confused.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like she's confused, she's having a hard time and she needs therapy. So like we're gonna reset that shit, start from ground zero. I will be keeping an eye on this for when it comes out. I'm so here for it. And it's probably a good chance too for like TikTok creators to be able to like maybe reach some refreshed audiences as people, start to like see and surface that content and get it cycled into your new FYP. So, all right. Well, what do we got going on with AI this week? I know we usually talk about ChatGPT, but we've got two other ones we're focusing on this week.
I feel like they're like kind of in contention and competition. I mean, they are. So there's Google's Bard, and then there's, I guess, Microsoft's Bing, which I don't know. Those two names just sound funny to me.
Bard and Bing.
So last week, Google announced Bard, basically be their competitor to ChatGPT and obviously Bing's as well. Give it a prompt, just like you would ChatGPT, and it will come back with this detailed, well-researched answer. Google has already messed up a little bit though. So in an ad that they had released on Monday talking about this AI chat, but I guess the system made an error in the ad, confidently saying that I guess the James Webb Space Telescope was the one that snapped the first image of a planet outside of our solar system, although it was reached like 17 years before that telescope even existed. I guess it costed them like $100 billion. I don't know. It was, just a small mistake.
Casual.
So just, nothing. So they are working on, it is not yet live. Neither of these are, but they are working on making it, I guess, safe and reliable so it doesn't give you answers like that. But it seems like they have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, I've heard very mixed things on some of the people that are already accessing Bard, and I don't know enough to speak from any experience yet. But as of right now, the general sentiment is like, it's no ChatGPT yet anyways. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
I am excited for Bing's though, because it seems like the tech behind OpenAI's ChatGPT will be integrated into Bing. And Bing is supposed to be completely up to date, like where ChatGPT's knowledge cuts off at 2021. I guess Bing will be all the way up to date. It'll run on like a newer, more powerful software than ChatGPT.
And I mean, it has to account for live search and everything as well, I would imagine.
Exactly. And hopefully the replies will be accurate. So they're both working, Bing and Bard. Sounds so funny to say them together. What are up with these names?
Bard and Bing.
Bing, Bard, ChatGPT. Like,
I don't know, man.
Who comes up with them?
I had a genius name for an AI tool last week, though, and I'm already ready. I'm not even going to mention it because
don't do it.
One of you bitches will take it and turn it into something.
You're right.
No, but I'll have to slide into your DMs and let you know. You guys will all find out when my new AI tool drops this year.
Here
with
we
these
go.
names, like all you need, it's like you just need a 4-letter word or something that sounds edible, and then like put that into like put AI at the end of it or IO, and then boom, you've got your
Or bot,
AI tech or bot,
Blender
yeah,
bot.
Blunderbot.
We need to just make a
There you
list
go.
of all the names of the AIs out there
Uh-huh.
and just be like, why?
I know. That's something we need to work on. Oh my God. That would be funny. All right. Well, we will be watching you, Bard and Bing. Sounds
We
like a
will.
circus show. One of the other things that we highlighted in the newsletter this week, we had a creator session where we sat down with Luke Walwyn and our own Asher Oliver, both of whom go back and kind of know each other. Both are kind of genius creative entrepreneurs in their own rights, having worked with like massive brands really all across the board, big and small, but had the common thread being that they took a really unconventional path to building that business. We've linked the entire video in the newsletter, so you can go watch through the whole thing if you want. It was really, truly like a captivating conversation. Luke and Asher are incredible speakers, lots of charisma, and really awesome and inspiring to kind of follow what they were talking about. Both of them kind of laid their groundwork of how they got to where they are. But one of the big takeaways for me that I found this week was Luke on communicating your value to a client. So this is particularly useful for freelancers, creative entrepreneurs, content creators who are kind of making a go at it, at building their online business on their own. One of the suggestions that Luke said when it comes to communicating your value to clients is like mapping out the project like it's a storyboard. Because it's one thing to go to a client and say like, okay, client comes and says, I want a logo. And you say, okay, well, my price or my fee is $5K for it. And then suddenly they're like sticker shocked by that. And instead of thinking about it that way, like back into it with a storyboard of like, for $5K, this is all of the stuff, all of the time, the effort, the invested learning, the costs associated with equipment and subscription. So all of these pieces kind of like mapped out, and show that to the client, or even just use it to inform your own value. So before you even land on like a price for your services, Luke says, or he suggested, really just being able to like map it out, mapping out the different like pieces of the project, include the steps, the expenses, the tools, all of the different resources that you would use to complete that. That in itself will help kind of create a clearer picture of the work that actually goes into a project like that, along with all those additional considerations and expenses, stuff like that. So, moral of the story, the bottom line, know your worth. Don't be afraid to stand by it. Even when that big ticket price mark seems uncomfortable, it's worth it when you look at it by, kind of deconstructing the different components that go into it. So that was our creative spotlight of the week. Definitely check that video out because there were so many good little nuggets of information and takeaways. So Anna, do we have anything for sauce snippets that we want to throw in here?
We do. This one is actually kind of hilarious. So Snapple, if you're not familiar, they always have a fact on the back of their bottle cap. So for their 20-year, I guess, anniversary, or they're celebrating their 20 years of Snapple Real Facts, which are the facts that are found under every bottle cap. They decided to launch like this. I think they're calling it Snapple F. I'm going to spell out the word because I don't know how to say it. FAICT generator. So the AI in there is capitalized.
Okay.
Faked maybe? Light bulb maybe?
Oh, I'm into it. It's like fact, but faked.
Exactly. So Snapple is using ChatGPT to basically give you the option to generate these. And it even says on the image, Snapple fakes are generated with AI, so they can be wrong, skewed, or even inappropriate. So like astronauts in space can't cry. That one's just a really fun one to see a brand using AI in a fun way like that.
Like and embracing it.
Yeah, exactly. Amen. And then the other one, which I just found out today, and maybe I'm like one of the only people that doesn't know this, is clear mode on TikTok. Did I see?
Girl, yes, that is my shit. TikTok clear mode, I swear that is a hill I will die on. It's the best. All you have to do is like hold down the screen, I think.
Right, and it pops up with the option.
So what that does is it like removes all the like the caption and like the sidebar stuff, cuz like how sometimes creators will be like, telling a really immersive story, and then they're like posting receipts and you're like, oh shit, like you have to pause it and read it, and then there's like overlapping text. So this just makes it easier for some of those like more immersive TikToks, I should
Where
say,
you just want to
videos.
see the video. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I only discovered that today, but yeah, if you guys don't know,
Welcome.
use it. Thank you.
Well, welcome to your new viewing experience. You will love it. That's awesome. This was a packed newsletter, but we powered through it. I'm into
Did
this,
it.
like, we'll do these things. We're getting better and better. Like, this is our third one that we're doing as an official podcast. We went from like, I don't even know how long our first one was, like almost like an hour and a half probably, to now down to like 35 minutes. So little by little, we are finding more efficient ways to do this shit. And that's what matters, is that we're all just creators out here figuring it out, finding the tech, the processes, the workflows to make it happen. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to, we're still running our cohort. We're officially in week 3 of our 12-week cohort.
Yay.
So we've got 9 weeks left. We had that chat I was talking about earlier with Luke and Asher. That was part of our cohort. And then this Thursday, we're going to be on Twitter Spaces with the Mark Schaefer, author of Belonging to the Brand, along with several other books that he's written. He's kind of one of the OGs of marketing around the world, really. He's consistently in like the top 20 marketers globally lists and things like that. So he actually mentioned one of the communities that we've worked with in his book, Belonging to the Brand, the Battle Bunnies. So they're going to be joining us on Twitter Spaces as well on Thursday. So that's this Thursday. I already have that tweet ready to go. So make sure that you check out my feed or the Sauce's feed to get the, save it to your calendar or set your reminder, whatever it is. So definitely check us out on Twitter Spaces and join the cohort if you're looking for some friends to come hang out with. We'll also be doing our AI image reveal and exchange for this cliche challenge that we did using AI generated images. So everyone who participated is going to get somebody else's AI generated image as an NFT. And we're going to do that swap on Thursday after the Twitter Spaces. So you can find us in Discord for that. That is all. Anything else, Anna, that you would like to add before we
that's it.
head
That's
out?
it.
All right. Thank you so much, Anna, for your time. I will catch you again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.